back to Dallas. Thank you. Yeah, it's good to have you back, man.
Yeah, I'm happy to be back.
Your interview for Latin Lover was one of my favorite interviews. Yeah, it's really great. I just love that movie. I was so happy to hear that you were coming back for this. So.
It was a funny movie.
Yeah.
This one is a little bit more touching. This one was just comedy. This one has the mix of comedy and heart, so it's different. But yeah, the other one was so funny.
Now I know in the past you've written some of your films. This one you're acting as a producer on it and you're acting in it. When on something like this, how much input do you get to have in terms of the how organic you make your character, or what you bring to your character for this film? Do you still get to have a lot of input on that as they're filming it, or is it like kind of stick to the script on this one?
No. I thank God I had a lot of input. Actually, when I met the executives at MGM, they told me, we need you to check the script. You can rewrite the script to bring your audience. They want me to make it more appealable for my audience. So I gave a lot of input, and for example, we decided to switch the roles. Mm-hmm. The role reversing was because we thought it's time to break stereotypes of Latinos in Hollywood. And the common thing or normal thing to do in a Hollywood movie would be like the Latino playing the carpenter, the poor carpenter, and Anna playing the millionaire. So we decided to switch that, and I'm playing the billionaire and she's cleaning the carpets. So that way it makes it fresher, different. Especially nowadays, a guy kidnapping a woman and making her work, it would be like kind of rude.
I don't think that would work in today's climate. Exactly. So I think it was very smart that you guys did what you did.
Yeah.
So. But it's also interesting because you have to walk this very fine line and this balance of playing a guy who is, forgive me, but kind of a douchebag. But then gets to evolve and see the error of his ways. Now, is that a little bit tricky figuring out like just how mean to make this guy so that he can then redeem himself, because the audience has to be able to forgive him.
I know exactly. And it was an issue. I was concerned about that because I said, like, what if I need to have the level of being mean?
Yeah.
I don't know how to say it in English.
Yeah.
But I need to make a balance, because at the end I have to be lovable. And I remember that when I saw the original one, that Goldie Hawn she was a real jackass. But at the end, you end up loving her. So I was trying to find the same formula to achieve that. But it was hard. It was really hard.
Yeah. You're also so good with kids. I love seeing you with, like, in all your movies, you seem to be so good with the kids. And these kids especially, there's a couple of moments that really tug at your heartstrings, But I thought you had such a great chemistry there. How do you figure that out? Like when you're working on a film, do you get to spend time with the kids outside of shooting and kind of figure out a camaraderie there?
I've been working with kids for the last 5 movies, and everyone is asking me, do you like to work with kids? Is something that you're looking for? And I was like, no, it was a coincidence. And let me tell you something I haven't confessed anyone. I hated working with kids 10 years ago. I was like, kids, no, it's boring. I don't know how to deal with them. And I was so afraid of dealing with kids that the first time I worked with them 10 years ago, I said, I need to connect with the kid, because I know that I'm so bad at it that I need to connect. So I started working with the kid outside when back off stage.
Right.
So I connected such in a good way in the first film that I said, I need to do this in the next ones. So now, for example, in this one, I was taking the girls to go for ice cream. They were like my daughters for 2.5 months. So the connection is real. And I learned how to connect with them, not just when we're shooting, but all the time during those 2 months. Actually, the last day when we were wrapping up, they cried so bad that we need to stop shooting, and we were hugging for 2 hours. I'm not kidding. It was like they were crying, and they didn't want to leave. So it was, you can see the connection in the movie.
So it's like art imitates life, because in the movie there is that feeling.
Absolutely.
It's very strong. I mean, it really got to me.
Yeah.
So good job there. Yeah. And then also I want to talk to you about, one of the things I love that you do is you're really good at physical comedy. Is that something that you like to, like, do you say, like, is that something you like to interject into a film, like say, like maybe in this scene, instead of just saying this line, can I do something that's kind of physically funny?
Yes. I'm always looking for that, because I like it. I've been doing that for my entire career, and I find it fun. So, and especially now that I'm like acting in another language, and that sometimes it's harder for me, because you can tell that that's not my first language. I love doing physical comedy. Every time I can bring a gag, doing something funny, I'm doing that. So yeah, that's my strength.
And then working with Anna Faris, who I love. I think she's just great. I think she is kind of the modern day equivalent of Goldie Hawn. Like, she's like this generation's Goldie Hawn. You guys also have a great chemistry together. And was that something that kind of happened naturally, or did you guys get to work together on that outside of shooting?
No, it was natural. I remember the first time I met her at my office. I was curious, and I was like, probably she's different and real person. And when I met her, she was exactly like as I imagined. She's so like naive. She's like always like floating. She takes her time to respond. She's exactly like you imagine her. She's like that. She's like funny, naturally funny, and very humble, down to earth. And she was telling me that she doesn't feel she's a comedian. The first time we did the first scene and the first take, she was like, was I funny? And I was like, what are you talking about? She was like, no, let me tell you. I'm not a comedian. I became a comedian by accident. I was doing a casting, a drama casting. I was trying to get a dramatic role. And I think I failed, because they hired me for these scary movies that I did. So I'm a comedian by accident, but I'm not a funny girl. And that's what she thinks.
It's amazing. She's so good. She's
really good.
We have to wrap this up. I know you've got the Nutcracker coming up. What are the other films that you've got coming on the horizon? I
have the Nutcracker on December, and then I'm going to direct my next movie. It's called A Chinese Tale. It's a Mexican and a Chinese linked by a cow that falls from the sky, based in a true story.
I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm so happy you're directing it. Hey, Eugenio Derbez, the movie is Overboard. Check it out. We'll have more information down below. Thanks, buddy.
May 4th. Thank you very much.
Good to see you again.
Thank you. It's for the entire family.
Yes, the family will love it.
Yeah.